now to Andrew Jewett, co-CEO Aperture with propertycoin.re is the web address. Andrew, welcome to the show.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, my pleasure. Okay, you were co-head of capital at the largest fix and flip operators in the United States.
That's right.
And let me back up and embellish that for a little bit, and then tell us what propertycoin.re does for everybody.
Yeah, so my co-founders and I were part of the senior management team of the largest, basically a company that buys properties at foreclosure and then fixes them up and sells them, and they also had a lending division. And as we were working there, and as we were kind of spent our time in my whole career in the residential real estate lending business, I was an investment banker for 10 years prior to that. We saw the need to really leverage data and technology in the way that properties are identified, acquired, and fixed and flipped, essentially. And so we started Aperture in 2016 to do just that. We built out a proprietary technology system that not only does it identify distressed properties across the country, but it allows our team to effectively manage the process of fixing and flipping properties. And so when we found out about what was going on in the blockchain world and the kind of the cryptocurrency space this past summer, we said, our company is poised for growth. We operate in 11 markets across the country, and we're not buying and selling T-shirts. We're buying and selling houses, and that requires a lot of capital. So we have a company that needs capital. We see tremendous potential for the use of asset-backed securities on the blockchain and in a crypto security. And former investment bankers and a tech company and a bunch of kind of tech geeks on our team said, we sit in the perfect situation to issue a cryptocurrency that's backed by real assets. A lot of people talk about concern over Bitcoin and Ether and some of the other currencies that aren't backed by anything. Their value is derived from the fact that somebody on the other end of the transaction believes there's value there. But we said, let's take it in a different direction. We've got a company that's producing profitable trades, very profitable trades, and a team that knows how to run this business. So let's go produce a pool of assets and allow for the growth of our existing company, which is also quite a novel thing in the initial coin offering space. So that's the super high level about Aperture and Property Coin, but we're super excited by it. It's fairly novel. Bringing assets onto the blockchain and bringing securities on the blockchain has been getting a lot of attention lately.
Yeah.
And we think we're probably the first securitized portfolio of real estate assets on the blockchain.
I understand you're moving into redevelopment and affordable housing.
Yeah, one of the things we like to pride ourselves on is we buy distressed properties. A lot of times these are either boarded up homes or homes that are in such great disrepair that they're not able to be purchased by an end user. And so we come in, that's fine for us. We come in, we rehab them to kind of a livable standard and make it a nice, warm, pretty home for somebody to to come in and buy. And oftentimes it's a first-time home buyer, it's a family, it's somebody who's looking to move up, but it's creating affordable housing in a market that, across the country there's a significant lack of affordable housing. But it also, I can't tell you how many times we've had neighbors come up to our real estate agent when the sale's either going on or closed or being listed and say, thank you so much for taking care of this house. Like, it was a problem. There were kids partying, it was vandalized. We really believe in by providing this service to the community. Don't get me wrong, we're going to make $1 out of it, but we are giving back to that community by putting a family in that home and making sure that ugly, vacant house doesn't bring down the value of the houses around it.
So cryptocurrencies for social good.
Yeah, we like to think so.
Tell me about the tokens, without getting in trouble of describing as security too deeply here. These are private, or are they public offerings that you work with on the cryptocurrency investments?
So unfortunately, in today's regulatory environment, we are somewhat forced. Our hand is forced to go down the private route.
Mm-hmm.
So these are Reg D securities offered in a private placement. So the way it works is only accredited investors in the U.S. Outside of the U.S., there's no restriction. But again, unfortunately, the regulatory environment requires that we do that. But the way it works is 100% of the net proceeds from the sale of Property Coin are going to be used by our team to go out and acquire fix and flip assets across the country. And also, we also have a lending division too. So we lend to smaller property flippers as well, but much more focused on the actual acquisition of properties. So the way that's going to work is there's
that's a new twist.
Yeah,
It's
sorry.
innovative.
Yeah, we think it really is. There's, as far as we can tell, there's really only two large players in the space that have done this. Our last company and another company that's more focused on the tech side of things. And so we want to create a large scale operator across the United States, and we've got the infrastructure, the teams in place, our technology is built out. We just need growth capital. So we see this as a growth funding mechanism for us.
So let me get this straight. If you have somebody else with expertise in your field, you'll work with them to increase the portfolio and help share the wealth, that they can pitch in and to help bring more attention to the coin that it was a property coin that you can use to enhance both businesses, if I'm reading you right.
Yeah, no, I think you're exactly right. We see a lot of, there's a very symbiotic relationship between our borrowers and our operations. Sometimes there's properties that we see through our system that for one reason or another we can't bid on or we don't want to bid on, but it might be a perfectly reasonable deal for our customer to buy. So
there's no geographical location that's bordered, you can't step out of. I mean, the U.S. is wide open for you?
Yeah, right now we're focused on 11 markets, and that's honestly just kind of a function of how big we are at this point. We'd love to expand across the U.S. and frankly, if we can, the only thing we need is good data to go outside of the U.S. And so that's the international expansion is kind of like phase 2 or phase 3 for us.
Wow. Okay, but it is on the map. You are going to do this on a global basis. Okay.
We'd like to.
Okay. Blockchain's involved in this, I take it? I got about a minute left.
Yeah. Blockchain is really utilized to register ownership of our fund, which is Property Coin. It's probably the most simple and most fundamental use of it. I think a lot of people have gotten kind of crazy with the uses of blockchain, but this one is pretty simple. It's a distributed ledger of who owns our property coins and who owns our fund.
It's been a pleasure, Andrew. I've got to run now, but I want to talk to you more about this offline, okay?
Likewise, thanks.
All right, Andrew Jewett, CEO, co-CEO, Aperture, propertycoin.re. Thanks for listening. Michael Yorba, CEO Money. Don't forget, podcasts everywhere, social media everywhere. Just Google us. You'll find us. Follow us on all the social medias. Thanks for listening, and everybody have a great weekend. Happy Easter. Happy Passover.